step on them. Protect at all costs, put a vest on them.
Yo, we're back with another one. The first one of the week. We didn't do Tuesday. I think we had a week off of boxing, really. For us, there wasn't really much to catch up on. You had the Benavides versus, Plant versus Resendez, and Charlo versus Lamana, which we can quickly touch on that in a little bit. But yeah, we're back with another show. It's me and Ricky. So at the moment, CJ will be jumping on with us and joining us soon. But before we get to the episode, we've got our D-Rock Clothing promotional video. Yes. We're back, people. We're back. Ricky, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, good. I had like a detox week where I just stayed away from boxing, really. Last week, I just felt a little bit burnt out. Still keeping up with the news, but really just de-stressing and family time this week and the weekend. What about you? What did you do at the weekend?
Same, really, mate. It was just one of those quiet weekend, bit of boxing rehab, really. Just like you said, chilling with family, chilling with the kids, making up a bit of lost time. We've had some commotion on the street today, just before this went live. Do you ever watch those things on YouTube? You get the guy's video and the thing of the pedophiles, and they're like capture, they bring the police.
No way!
It's just happened now, like literally from 3 doors down from my house. There's a fucking.
No way.
We saw the all the cops in that pull up, and then I saw like the 2 guys or 2 people videoing as the cops are walking away. So you got my wife with the crane in the neck. You've got my kids, little meerkats, just look at what's going on, and they're all nosy and like peeping tons of streets flooded, and it turns out that it was the paedophile.
Oh God!
Yeah, great.
Well,
just having a pedo on the street.
Whoever it is gets what they deserve. That's all I can say on that matter.
Fucking hell.
But yeah, boxing. There's a lot of news popping off this week. Last few days. This weekend is full of boxing. There's so many shows on this weekend. We've got, obviously, we're covering the Simpson versus Zoko. You'll be there live covering that. Hopefully can catch up with a few people. We've also got Wardley versus Hooney happening at the same time on a Queensberry card. Over in America, you've got Keyshawn Davis defending his world title, his first defense of his world title. Abdullah Mason's back out. But so much boxing on this weekend, it's crazy.
Needed that little bit of downtime, didn't it? What did you make to Caleb Plant getting beat on the weekend, by the way? Because I did not expect it at all.
No, I didn't expect that. I kind of thought Caleb might get a stoppage late or a UD for Caleb. I didn't do so well in the boxing league this weekend. To be honest, I think I got 8 points, but I had points second. I'm still second. I'm cool. I'm hanging in there. But it was a surprise. It kind of was a surprise. But it's the reality of boxing that it's not always the guys that are the best guys in this sport that has the best ability that can beat everybody. It's a perfect example of not many people knew who Resendez is, but now they do because he's beaten Plant. But that's why we need to see the fights. and I advocate for that wholeheartedly. That people that go, oh, what's he done or what's he done? If he's in your division and he's ranked close to you, you should be fighting him. This, what's he done? He has to beat him in order to fight me. Nah, let's just fight, make the fights, and we'll see who wins. Because the popular names right now are not doing so well. Of late, not doing so well.
They're not. They're aging, aren't they? They're all getting older, and you can see the decline. Like you look at Canelo against Skull, didn't really perform that really Saudi debut where you think, this guy's going to want to perform on this platform for them big paydays it is after, especially with Crawford being the next fight. He probably would have wanted to make a statement, albeit Skull was on the back foot all night, but you've got to think that's Canelo's job as well to pin him down. Same as Killer Plant, really. Like I said, the only Ra who actually predicted that Caleb would lose. It's one of those, and like you say, when these fights are hot, make them, because it's not the WWE. It's not something that you can fix like the King of the Ring and then make them all meet in the final. They get beat, and it puts a dampener on that actual fight before it's even happened. So if there's a possibility to make it happen, make it happen. Charlo, he played pretty well. He got the stoppage round, which I got 3 points for. Boom. Against Lamana.
I don't think it should have been a stoppage. I think the stoppage was a bit early. It was a bit soft, but he got it. Charlo, he boxed well. A good performance from him coming back. I didn't know what to expect, to be quite honest with you. I picked an upset. Lamana.
Yeah, did, yeah.
But I don't mind getting that wrong. I never do. He boxed well, Charlo. He deserved the win. The stoppage for me is still a little bit early, but he was always going to win that fight. In my opinion, the way it was going, he could have possibly stopped him anyway without the help of the doctors and the referee. But they got, and I feel like they got that. It was simple of, right, there's a chance here. We've got this fight built up, Charlo versus Plant. Right, we'll give Charlo the stoppage. It's right. The referee, you mean get the doctor in? He was beating him up, let's be honest. Get the stoppage right. It's time for Plant to deliver now. And this is more or less what happened on the Times Square card. Bearing in mind, Devon's performance against Ramirez wasn't as good as Charlo's versus Lamana. But you had Devon got the win. You're going into the main event waiting, because this is what this whole card is promoted around. These two fighters get the win, they fight each other, and then the main event ends up losing. And yet again, a fight has fallen off what I think everybody was looking forward to. I think a Charlo versus Plant fight with the history of Plant slapping him and stuff like that happening. I think everyone was looking forward to that. But now Plant taking a loss, how much do people want to see that now? The fight itself, the two fighters, in my opinion, I don't mind seeing them fight, but the luster for it and the money for the fight, what the fighters will want for that fight, it ain't going to be there anymore.
No, it's one of those, and it like you said, it's okay having these cards on thinking these are winnable fights, and then when they lose, they're like, oh, shit. But like you said, they're on the same night. Why not make them just fight? Like, they're on the same card. Just have it out. Let's just get to it. Let's cut through the fat, cut through the bullshit, and let's just set it up.
I don't get it, because you're going through the same training camp. You're going through. You're having the same time span what you would need anyway after this fight to prepare for this guy. Why not do it?
Yeah.
These guys are not so far away from it. A Ramirez and a Garcia, ability-wise, aren't so far away from each other. For me, that fight should have happened the very next fight. There's no way Garcia should have been allowed to get another payday before being told you have to fight Devin Haney off of the rematch. The rematch should have been next. You shouldn't have been allowed to get however many millions he's got after being banned off a year. He's had a year of being an absolute disgrace of an athlete. And he's allowed to get one payday and then another payday. No, what should have happened was what you've done in the last year, you cheated in that last fight. Your very next fight, this guy wants a rematch. It's your very next fight, or you're not fighting. you're banned until the rematches happens. That's that. It's as simple as that. You've got Caleb Plant versus. Go on.
I was just thinking, and speaking of cheats, Jaime Munguia. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, well, that was it was a big surprise when it came up because you sort of like it happened. The whole weekend of that event was just left a bit of a sour taste in everyone's mouth. And then just on a random for that to come out, and it's like, wow. I was shocked, but then again, you see it. This guy knocked him out in the previous fight. He comes back, immediate rematch, and him popping dirty off of after losing an immediate rematch, after losing the first fight. It makes sense. It kind of makes sense. But CJ, how are you doing, mate?
Hi boys, sorry I'm late. I've been boxing away, so I've rushed back. Ready to rock and roll.
You're good, pal.
You're good, man. CJ, I was just telling Eric that they know the paedophile guys on the videos, and you watch them on YouTube, and they're catching up paedophiles and everything. Please,
the hunters, yeah.
They've been on my street. They've just found a paedophile 3 doors away.
Fucking hell. Did they get the wrong address? No, that's it's bad that it's all happening there. It's all over as well. That's the bad thing.
Yeah, it's fucking really bad. But speaking of all over and really bad, we're on about who cheats in boxing. Jaime Munguia being the latest cheat.
Yeah, it's sad because of all the talent he actually has. Sorry, mate. Yeah, it's sad because of all the talent Jaime Munguia actually has. You know, I mean, the destruction job he did years ago on, was it Liam Smith? I think. And then this comes out, it then makes you doubt how good was they or how good are they? Has he been cheating all along? You never know, do you? That's what happens. It's the same with Conor Benn's career. No one will ever have that full trust. Not one person will ever have that full trust that Conor Benn's clean.
Yeah, and isn't Munguia a part of Canelo's camp
He's just gone to Canelo. That was his first fight with Canelo. It doesn't bode well, does it? If that's your first fight with Team Canelo and you end up fucking dirty, it's one of them like you're looking at Team Canelo a bit funny. Like, what's going on here? But
especially when Canelo got done as well.
It's clear to see that drug cheats in boxing. It's rife, and at the moment we seem to be catching a lot of people, which is good. That they're getting caught anyway is good, but it just proves that it needs to be more stringent, the testing in boxing, because you have fighters going into training camps, and I know the VADA, some people are signed up to VADA, but then some people still aren't getting tested or training camp.
Do you know what gets me is what gets me is what actually really pisses me off is when it comes out like 2 weeks after the fight, but they knew beforehand, and there's some sort of law in between where they can't announce it at the time. What's the problem is what's going to happen is it's going to take for someone to get seriously injured, seriously stopped or hurt or worse, God forbid, anything worse. That then when it comes out, whose fault's that then? Because are VADA going to take that on the head? Are the British Board of Boxing Control going to take it on the head? No one's going to want to own up to it, and someone's going to be injured, poor thing.
But funny you said that. I actually said it, I think, on a stage the other day. So it's like, what can change? I said the only thing that's going to change in boxing, and the only way it's going to change is for a fighter who is on PEDs to kill another fighter in the ring. That is the only way it is going to change. Unfortunately, that's the only thing that can happen, because yes, fighters have died in the ring, but it hasn't been at the hands of. We know the danger of boxing. We know that's a hazard of the sport at the end of the day. Unfortunately, it's part of the sport that happens. It's a bad side of the sport, but it's going to take a fighter who's cheating to really damage somebody for anything to change, because right now, you think how many of these top guys are cheating? How many guys at the lower level who are winning, who hasn't been seen on TV yet, are cheating?
Yeah.
What are they taking to get to that level, to try and get there? Because a lot of fighters might well be taking stuff to get to that level, and when they get to that level, right, I'm being paid now, I can stop. But how many times have they got into that ring? You know what I mean?
It's scary, mate. It's a scary thing. And they've been on the small hole shows. You do see, and I'd never say names, maybe, if I'd had a drink. If you see fellas and you see the certain stretch marks, we all know the signs. We all like, well, I wouldn't say we all like to keep fit, maybe not as much now, but we've all been to the gym at times. We've all been athletes at times. You know the signs. Do you know what I mean? And these fellas are in the peakest condition with the stretch marks, with the right muscles in the certain places, and you know. And unfortunately, no one does test small hall. It's only at the big leagues that it does get tested.
Yeah, and like you said, that's going to be.
I love that. I love that comment. Sorry.
What's the Capri Sun? What does that mean?
It's a fucking orange juice, isn't it?
Well, who's orange? Oh, okay. Have a day off, Libster. Have a day off.
But yeah, like you guys are touching on, like, what is going to be the, like, let you shit yourself, Ricky. Well, 20p, 50p.
If we hear Ricky's dog go through now, Jack, we'll know what crack is.
It's like that. It's one of those, like, what's going to be now is the need someone now to make an example of with the boxing. So when these guys are getting busted, and these obviously suspensions aren't enough because they're still doing it, and people are still being caught and still thinking they can get away with it. And in a sport as dangerous as what boxing is, like, it's got to be more severe punishment for me. And I think they need to start introducing lifetime bans, depending on, like, I know Canelo got done. He got done what with clenbuterol, which is not a steroid, but it's still a fat stripper that maximizes your muscle intake. It's almost like a steroid. It's got to stop. It's got to stop.
The thing is, like we said earlier before CJ got on here, you've got people who are drug cheats who end up coming back and earning millions.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Garcia.
One person I'll jump on with Eric from that is Big Baby Miller. He's earned a career off that shit with Joshua, basically, and yet he's still allowed to have his time. And then I've just seen a post today, whether it's true or not, of AJ be interested in the Miller fight as a tuner. Why does he deserve that income? Like, he's a proven drug cheat twice over. Why does he deserve that income on being a big fella who's just been on a drug cheat? It don't make sense.
Would it surprise you as well if he's pulled out of that Wardley fight through popping dirty and they're just fucking giving him another fucking excuse, another reason?
I honestly don't know. You wouldn't put it past him, because boxing it's dirty at the end of the day. You've got fighters who pop dirty, and the people who are in boxing, the commentators, the promoters, and all these people who make the fights happen, make excuses for them. You've got Oscar De La Hoya, who has Ryan. He's more bothered about how Devin Haney performs in a fight than his fighter actually popping dirty for a fight. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's mental how promoters and people, high figures of the sport, are allowed to act like this. What are the fans supposed to act like? What are these fighters going to act like when you've got the people who are making these fights happen, making excuses for fighters to pop in dirty? That's two of Oscar's fighters. That's two of them. Well, I don't think Jaime's his fighter anymore. But you've got Jaime Munguia, you've got Ryan Garcia. Who else popped this year? Someone else has popped. There's so many people popping. You've got Connor. You've got Dennis McCann. We've not heard anything from him since that happened. What's going on here? It's like Blackpool.
I was just laughing at Ricky like thinking some sort of magician of a light show.
Staring fucking lights on me.
He's got a clapper as Ricky. Ricky's like this.
Butler.
I've got an announcement, lads.
Yeah,
Go
go
on,
for it,
then.
mate.
I've got these, but I don't know how to use them yet.
Yeah.
You're a menace, I swear. What is wrong with you?
I don't know how to use them yet, but when I figure it out, no more of this. I'm telling you
What
now.
do you mean you don't know how to use them?
I can't quite get them connected to my phone. I don't know what's happening. I'll sort it out. Don't worry.
What's
We've got-
everyone's? Go on.
Go on. No, I was just going to say about Loma. I don't know if that's what you.
Yeah.
Oh, bless him.
Touch on.
We've got announced today. Lomachenko has announced his retirement from boxing. Been an absolute amazing boxer, athlete. Definitely one of the best of a generation. His amateur record was exemplary. His pro record to get a world title, what, in his second or
Second.
second.
Where did he beat in his second fight or his third fight?
He was beating his was he beating his first by Salido? Was that his first fight?
I can't remember.
He boxed the wily old character in his first fight, didn't he? And he got the shot luckily. Then second coming onto it.
Yeah. So Salido, but Salido also cheated a lot in that fight. But you guys
dirty
take
tactics,
over
mate,
because
dirty old-fashioned tactics. But yeah, it's one of those where I'm like sad, but I'm also glad. He's 37. He was, the greatest amateur boxer to ever grace our sport. The greatest one from between 2014, 2013 till 2019 when he suffered his first loss. Yeah, now the greatest boxer of that era for me. Like there's no one as talented, no one as just when you're in his pomp, like the movement, the combinations. How many champions he made? Just made him quit. Just made him quit. Just they couldn't figure him out. He just broke them down and absolutely broke their hearts. But I'm glad he's called it an end. He's had a couple of defeats to people that he wouldn't have normally lost against, in my opinion. Yeah, I think it was the right time. I don't think he'll get the credit he deserves from like people that are more casuals and more purists are, like myself, UCJ and Eric. But I think he's one of the best boxers we'll ever see for a long time. It was just complete, weren't he? He was complete.
My comment tonight was going to be, honest to God, it's written in my book, is that how much it'll affect Ricky this, because I know how much you do like Lomachenko's style.
Yeah,
he's a hero, and you've hit it right with the purist side. Some people might not appreciate how talented he actually is and was, and when you get into your facts and figures of the backstory, like his father putting him through dance and ballet and things like that, just to get his footwork, like the swimming routines he does, holding his breath underwater for certain amounts of time to build lung capacity and things. It's things like that when you are a purist, when you do realise that a person like Lomachenko only comes around once a generation. We've probably been quite lucky in the generations we've seen. We've got Usyk as well at a higher weight. It was similar. No, I wouldn't even necessarily just say because it's the Eastern European and their Ukrainian thing. We're just lucky at what we've had with Lomachenko, and it's sad. It's sad of the two losses he had too recent, as in Lopez in like 2020, 2019, I think, and then Haney.
Yeah, and then Haney.
But I do think Lomachenko on his day could have schooled anybody anyway. I do think 100%. He's maybe been caught at a bad time. He's been going downhill, but yeah, a true hero for the sport, and I do hope he gets the accolades. Yeah, that deserves, because he's amazing.
You're on mute, Eric.
You're on mute, Eric.
My bad.
I preferred you on mute, actually.
I did it,
That's how it is, yeah. I see.
Got a comment there?
We'll go to a comment before I give my take. We've got Boxing Bros UK says, "What's happening, guys? I'm glad he's retired. I did want to give Tank a lesson, though. I did want to give Tank a lesson. Yeah, so did I. Was amazing. He also says, was amazing fight. The Matrix best performance. Rigondeaux and making the Jamaican guy quit. Yeah, Walters.
Good fight.
The Axeman. The Axeman. Yeah, and
Absolutely.
CJ, your mum says, evening, guys. Great show as usual.
All right, ma'am.
As usual.
Speaking.
Yeah, so Loma, you've got to think as well, those losses he took against Lopez and Haney, that's at a weight where Loma was too small for 135. When Loma went up to 135, he was just too good and beating everybody at 130. Look at 130. Tank didn't want to fight him at 130 when he was there. Boxing Bros says, he made Walters quit. He made Rigondeaux look, and although Rigondeaux, that one, I'm still a bit like that on credit for it, because Rigondeaux did move up, and he certainly want that size. Like you look at him in the ring. You look at him in the ring, and Loma looked absolutely massive compared to Rigo. But yeah, he did. He had the name Nomachenko. He had that name going around because he kept making all these fighters quit. His career was amazing, absolutely amazing career. The loss to Tio in a good fight. I thought he started a bit too late against Tio. That's what lost him the fight, but apparently he had an injury or whatnot with his shoulder in that fight. The Haney fight, I'm a massive Haney fan anyway, so it's like that. I was happy with Haney won that fight. I had Haney winning that fight. A lot of people said Loma won the fight. I thought it was the fight of the year. That particular fight was the fight of the year. It was a great fight. And retiring it off a win against stopping George Kambosos, he might as well go out like that. Go out like that. He's got nothing else to prove. At 37 years old, the guys who are at 135 now, and Loma's not a big 135. They're young. Like the Tank fight makes sense for money, maybe, whatnot. But why would you then go fight Tank when you've been wanting to fight this kid for however long? Now you're done. You don't have the passion for boxing anymore. Why put your name up like that? Why would you just put your name up and your legacy up just to get?
It reminds me of Joe Calzaghe when he boxed Mikhail Kessler. He always said afterwards that Kessler was desperate for the rematch, and one of his biggest statements, one of my favourites in boxing, to be fair, because it's so honest, is the commentator saying, "Will you fight? Will you give him the rematch?" And he says, "No, because next year I'll be a year older, and Mikhail Kessler will be a year better." So that's where we're heading with stuff like that. And I tell you what, a couple more names on there. You guys have said Rigo and whatnot, like Linares. Linares was still top tier, and a couple of British heroes in there. I mean, Crawler, Luke Campbell.
I was there at the Luke Campbell one. You know what? I completely forgot. I've actually seen Loma fight live, so I'm happy. I'm happy I've seen him in person. I completely forgot about that actually, because that night I was pissed because I was a Luke fan, so I was a bit pissed that night. But Loma's had an amazing career, absolutely amazing career, and I think he will get the accolades. And I think even the casual fans know who Loma is and how good Loma was, to be quite honest with you. So I think he will get the praise he deserves.
It's one of those as well. It's like when you keep going, there's always going to be that fighter that tells people you're dodging them. It's always going to be that next opponent. Like with Calzaghe, it was Froch wearing it, Froch calling him out. He can beat him. Nailed it. Always Amir Khan on his case trying to, I can beat him. With Loma again, like Tank's waited for a Loma on the decline, 37 years old. That's when he started losing, when he started getting a little bit older. And that's when they wait for you. That's when they go for the kill, when the lines get a bit weaker. So I'm glad. I think he's retired at the right time, 100%.
Yeah. Libster says iBoxingHub should have its own boxing streaming service that you pay monthly for to watch all the boxing fights. If only we could. If only we could.
Take it up with the powers above, Libster. Us three, we're just monkeys. You need to speak to Organ Grinder with that one.
We're just quitting the floor.
Yeah, saying that though, we will start doing like watch-alongs and stuff like that as well. if we don't go to the fights, if we're all watching the fight at the same time, we'll probably jump on a stream like this and do watch-alongs and watch the fights together. But there's plenty in the works what we've got to work on and coming. But yeah, definitely. CJ, do you want to read this one? It's a bit long for me.
Yeah, Boxing Bros UK. To be fair, I reckon he still has enough to beat Tank now, but glad he's retired, and Tank never wanted it when he was always firing on all cylinders. But that's Tank for you. Yeah, and that's what we've just covered, mate. Loma's got nothing to prove at this stage. Loma wanted that fight a while back, and Tank and his team weren't interested. I do think Tank's very good at picking and choosing. Following in Mayweather's footsteps. That's not slagging Mayweather, but I definitely think there's a couple of fights in there we all know where Mayweather's picked at the right time. Tank's going to be exactly the same with that all through his career.
Mayweather did that the later part of his career.
Yeah, that's true.
His career. He was fighting. He fought who there was to fight. The later part of his career, certainly he picked and chose who he wanted to fight and when he wanted to fight him. But Tank,
I think Tank needs that. You know, Tank actually needs the Lomachenko name on his record. For him,
he needs it more. He needs a name on his record because the best name is Ryan Garcia, who's never won a world title. But that boxing wise, Pedraza, he beat Pedraza, but what's Pedraza done? You know, and even when he beat Pedraza, he was fuming. He got put in that fight because he didn't think he was ready. He didn't think he was ready. Even the Loma fight, Floyd had to threaten him to fight Loma. When they fell out, he was like, "Oh well, I'll get you to fight Loma." How are you using Loma as a threat to your own fighter? That's the Loma has never needed Tank, and he doesn't need Tank now. So retire, blessed, and he retired as a world champion. That's all you can say. He retired as a world champion.
Out at the right time to win.
Did you boys cover? I missed the first 10-15. Did you boys cover Dillian White?
No, just covered paedophiles.
No.
Paedophiles good too. That's all we covered.
I came on just as you finished. Thank the Lord.
We were just stalling, mate.
What do we reckon to do? Just the announcement that he's not going to be fighting this weekend. But then it's come out again after that he's pulled out that it's because he's got a massive fight coming up, Dillian White. Has anyone got any clues as to what? 'Cause I haven't seen anything here. I've had a good look.
Eric knows.
Does he?
Dillian White.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I think. Well, I've heard that he's pulled out of this and he's fighting a Coley in August. That's what I've heard. So I don't quite know. I think it's probably what's happening. That's his last fight. I think that's what's happening. He's just waiting. He's just thought, you know what? I've got one more left in me. There's no point in doing this to then going to another training camp, risk getting injured in this fight, to then have to delay everything. They've offered him the Okoli fight, and he said, you know what? I'll pull out of this no name because there was never an opponent. Who was the opponent?
Never announced.
There was never an opponent, so it was easy to do. I think if the Okoli fight is Swan Song or whatever it is, then good. There's nothing. I don't know I don't think Dillian White is a test for anybody anymore. Like, you know, when he gets to that point where you're a journeyman and you can put him in there and think, oh, what can he do with that guy? Putting a Toma in there with Dillian White, I just think he's sending Dillian White out to get murdered.
I knew you'd have to bring up Toma. You can't help it, you.
Right. Well, who do you want me to say? Delicious.
That's not fair. That's a low blow, isn't that? Hey, I just saw that Foster sign, then I thought, go on, Eric. That's why he's being cheeky.
No, just juice.
He's had a couple.
Liv says, watch-alongs would be epic. I expect over-dramatised reactions, anger, shock, tears. That's just on the build-up. That's without the fighting, which is dramatic.
You need to go check my Instagram out because I actually do a watch party. I commentate a watch party, and you should see the reactions on there. It would be similar to that. So yeah, you get the good, the bad, and the ugly really when you do watch alongs, especially when you're passionate about boxing, and if it's a fighter you like, it's even worse.
The kids came down last week and said to me and Claire, was one of your friends fighting, CJ? What Dave Allen won? And I was like, why? They were like, you were screaming and shouting and jumping up and down. I was like, oh yeah. Not with me.
Yeah, it's a different feeling when someone you want to win is doing well.
How are you feeling, Ricky? Are you feeling better?
A little bit, mate. Yeah, I'm still a bit bummed up, like, but and I've got like fucking ulcers the size of an island on here at the minute, but not too bad. I'm getting better.
Still handsome.
So we'll go from someone who isn't fighting to someone who is. We've got Wardley versus Hooney. Justice Hooney. I think a really good fight. I think that's a good replacement for Joe Miller. I think Hooney probably deserves a shot. That Hooney deserves it. Like I was about to say, Hooney deserves a shot more than Joe Miller does anyway. It's a tough fight for Fabio Wardley, but at this point in his career, I find it hard to back against Fabio Wardley. He just when he fights, he just has that demeanor of kill or be killed. For somebody who hasn't had an amateur career and come into boxing through the white collar scene to get to where he has and to show the amount of skill as well he's shown in that level, to say he didn't have an amateur career is really good. I like Wardley, a big fan of his, so I think he can get the stoppage, and I think he'll probably get the stoppage 8 or 9. I think he wears just. I think 8 or 9.
Yeah, I think it's one of those, in it, where Wardley is proven now he can mix it in with somebody like Fraser Clark, who we had those question marks. Everybody has those question marks about Wardley when coming up from the white collar. What does he really know? How does he really cope with somebody that's as decorated as an amateur as somebody like Fraser Clark? And he did really, obviously the first one was a draw. I can't remember, but I don't think I scored it, but I feel like I edged it more towards Clark through like watching it in emotion. The second round, he put that to bed. We are fucking absolutely devastating blow that shattered Fraser Clark's face in half. And I don't really know much about this Justice Hooney, but it's one of those where I think I don't know. I think it's a dangerous opponent. I think it's a dangerous replacement. Jarrell Miller, you know what you're going to get. He's all mouth. He's a gobshite, isn't he? He's big. He's loud. He's raucous, but I don't feel like it brings a.
I think it's a perfect style for Wardley. I think him walking towards Wardley is perfect for Wardley.
Yeah, he's not technically gifted.
He's not scared to throw Wardley, and he hits like a mule as well. So I think the Miller fight would play right into his hands anyway. I think this fight's a tougher fight.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But what do you think, CJ?
I watched the podcast that had Joe Parker on it, and he did a good 10 minutes on Justice Hooney. He really spoke highly of him. Now, obviously, I know that they're from that side of the world, but we don't get to usually see over there or hear of it until it is big fights. So, but he gave his opinion. He does think Hooney's going to be a real handful for Wardley. Wardley going in there with more pro experience, but Parker actually thinks Hooney's going to do the job on him, which is interesting because I do think Parker's quite an honest pundit. I do think he speaks the truth. I think he's one of us. He's down to earth. He's had to work and grind to get back to the top. So that did change my opinion a bit. I did think Wardley would walk all over this Hooney, but after hearing that, I'm now thinking we'll get the first few rounds out of the way. Yeah, you've got another shrimp on the barbie, mate. I don't think Hooney's got nothing to lose going into this because he can go warm.
If Wardley catches him, he goes to sleep.
You think straight away?
Yeah, I've seen some sparring of Hooney getting dropped, getting hit with a clean.
He got rocked in his last fight as well, I think.
getting hit with headgear on and doing a nice little dance before he went on all fours. So I think if Wardley, the thing is, Wardley cracks. Wardley can punch.
Oh,
so, if he catches him, I don't think it'll be early. I think Hooney's good enough to make it a fight. I think it'll be a good fight, but I do believe that Wardley will catch him eventually and get the stoppage.
Yeah, it's one of those. I like CJ. I like Joseph Parker, but I will say I did lose quite a lot of respect for Joseph Parker when I watched a video of that guy eating raw fucking fish that he just.
That was on that podcast. Yeah. And he was like,
I don't give a fuck who you are, what culture are that
is. he was saying that got brought into the podcast, and he was saying, no, where I'm from in Samoa, we eat the whole fish, head, eyes, everything. We eat the whole fish. I'm thinking, fuck me, man.
Mate, it was horrendous.
Yeah, keep that. Boxing Joe says, like to see Chisora versus White 3.
I think Chisora does him if that happens. Chisora.
I need them world titles I need Usyk to beat Dubois, vacate them world titles, and Chisora fight for a world title on his last fight. That's all I want. Heavyweight division right now needs a reset of world titles. We know who the top guy is. We know who the top guy will be after the Dubois fight. Yeah, we know who the top guy is going to be after this Dubois fight when he stops him again. So yeah, I just think the belts need to be vacated. Usyk, you can retire as well because you've completed the game, bro. Retire.
Yeah. So there's not really much going on the undercard, is there, of Wardley, Huni? But I think we can move on. Say if he's one, I don't know if we want to discuss any more, but the main one for me and the card I'm looking forward to the most would be Simpson and either Zuko or Zucho. I don't know how you fucking pronounce it, but it's one of them. What do you guys reckon?
Yeah, always good to see Adam Azim out. We need to see him pushing on. I've said it before in a previous show. I couldn't put my finger on which. I'm excited for Mark Jeffers. Now, I hope I'm not putting the knockers on it. I think I've had a bit of a bad spell with wishing my best for fighters, and then they've ended up either retiring or injured or something. But Mark Jeffers, I think, is the force to be reckoned with, and he wants that Callum Simpson fight. He's desperate to get to be known domestically as the biggest one. And then some other Ellis Price, fantastic boxer. Frankie Stringer, he's going in against Kane Baker. Kane's a game lad, so you know you're going to get a good test there, and we'll see how good Stringer is. That card's fantastic, really, for a good domestic show.
Kane Baker was one that got stopped. Is it by that Giorgio?
Yeah, Viziola.
What's his name? Yeah, Viziola. That's when it went 4 rounds or something, and it wasn't going forward. There's Reese Edwards, isn't he? He was supposed to fight Leon Woodstock, but he pulled out for whatever reason. We saw Somba get announced at the actual Terry Harper card. Mark Jeffers, he's the guy that's actually chasing Simpson, is he not?
He is chasing him. He's been desperate to fight him, and through no fault of his own, he's not getting that fight. It's the high risk, low reward, isn't it, at the minute? But if he keeps going as he's going, he's going to have to get a big domestic fight soon enough. And I do think that's why they're banging right on the undercard, so we can all see. I think. Go on.
I'm just reading that there. It says WBA Continental Gold Super Middleweight. So is this another case where we've got Cam Simpson as the main event? We've got Mark Jeffers on the undercard. Is this another setup fight? Whereas if these guys both win, they both got belts. They're both going to fight for these belts. Is that what we're looking at, do you reckon?
Yeah, definitely. I think Simpson knows he's coming as well. I'm sure he's been asked about it in interviews before. It's hard, isn't it? Because they're really pushing Callum, and he's got a massive following. They're wanting him to move on and on and on. But I do think he needs to answer this Jeffers call to prove that he stands king of the domestics. And I do think he causes Callum a lot of problems, and I am a massive Callum fan. He's just a big, hard-hitting fella, is Jeffers.
It's one of those, isn't it, where when these fighters are coming up, and they've got impressive records, 20-0s, but it's where that record all really means what on that record. But they do need these big domestic dust-ups before they move on to the more lucrative honours. I agree. I think this is a case where we could be looking at this might set up a potential fight for these two in the future. I might even, if I manage to see him, I might even try and ask about that actually while I'm there. But it's one of those where I'm looking forward to that fight. And I don't really know too much about Jeffers until probably CJ started mentioning him more and more and more, and I started looking into him. And he has got the style to cause problems. And Simpson's a very neat boxer. I don't think he's the biggest puncher. He's neat, he's strong, and he does everything well technically. But like this Jeffers is quite a bit of a big brute, isn't it, to be fair? Quite a big, stocky lad. He's powerful, he's strong. It causes Simpson problems that he might not be normally used to, and it'd be a good little grit test for him. But I think Zuko, I don't think he's going to be any laughing matter anyway. He's still got to get the job done for that first.
He's a laughing matter. I like that, man. That's good.
No, I agree with you. I think every British fighter whose aim is to get to that, when you're on that cusp of world level fighters, you need that big British fight, that British rivalry, that one fight where you get that win, you get that emphatic win where everybody is now saying, "Yep, we want to see you fight for a world title." I think a Dalton Smith, I think for fans to get behind Dalton Smith, he kind of needs that. He needs that British fight where it's like everyone don't know who, it's split down the middle. We don't know who to pick. If Dalton wins, everyone then backs him at world level. I think all British fighters should go through that. I think if you're winning a British title, that should be the best of British fighting each other. It shouldn't be what it is at the moment.
You need there's famous ones in there over the time. The one that sticks in my head the most is, and I was a massive fan of James DeGale. James DeGale, when he boxed George Groves, George obviously beat him. James, they were both ready to go on to world anyway, and they had to get that fight out of the way. Like you've just said, they're the fights that make you and break you, I think. You've got to be.
James DeGale ended up winning a world title before George Groves.
He did,
which was mad. So this is where the boxing in Britain, and me and Ricky was on about it earlier on phone, that British level fights, everybody should be willing to fight everybody. It's not, you don't get he don't deserve a fight with me until they get to that sort of world sort of level thing. And it's starting to creep into British boxing, that fighters are starting to go, he needs to beat this so-and-so before he before he gets a fight with me. And I don't like it. I like the British scene that you've got your British rankings, you fight everybody. There isn't a case of, he don't deserve it. The only time I heard that was when Conor Benn was saying it, and he never even held a British title. He was trying to say that, who was it who was trying to fight him? I can't remember who it was. But he was on about saying that, he can't fight me yet. He don't deserve. And I don't like that. I hate it. It's an American sort of way of life that they value themselves so highly that everybody else needs to do something in order to fight them. And I believe if you're in the same division, you should be fighting each other. If the fans want you to fight this certain fighter, he's in your division, you fight him.
So like when like when Eubank were chasing the Saunders rematch, Saunders were always trying to set these little targets for Eubank as well. Oh, he hasn't done this, he hasn't done that. And you're like, no, you just don't want to fight him. And I feel like if we take it back a little bit more further, and I'm not saying he would have won because I don't know if he would or not, Junior Witter chasing Hatton. You had that, and it was one of those where Hatton was, at a level where he was too big for Witter, and Witter were wanting that fight as badly as what Kelbert were wanting the Khan fight. So he's got a great smile on his face. CJ's loving it.
You love Witter, don't you? You said that to me before at Steffi's. You said that like word for word. You've said that to me before.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you feel it's true though. It is very true that when it comes out as well, even with the Khan Brooks stuff, I was 100% sure that Khan never wanted that fight because he never thought he could beat Brooks. I said this. Me and Ted had how many arguments and debates about that, I swear. And we actually watched that fight together, and I was like, nah, Brooks gonna stop him. I'm telling you, there's a reason why Khan never wanted that fight. There is a reason why. One, Khan is chinny, and two, Brook fucking hits hard. And we saw what happened. Yeah, it was past its time, but I believe that fight was gonna go that way no matter what. No matter when they fought, I believe that fight was gonna go that way.
I would have loved to see him fight when Khan was in his prime as well, though. And that, again, that's not me saying he would have won. I'm a massive fan of both of them. Obviously, Brooks' power and his skill, and Brooks being a fantastic fighter for our generation, but Khan's speed, like seriously. Do you know what always sticks with me? Did you ever see him do that trick with that Yazoo bottle?
Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah, boom, 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 boom.
Unreal. Bottle.
As a teenager, I can't tell you how much I spent trying to do that, and I never mastered it. And I'll never live that down. And it was like he was my hero for that.
Listen, Khan was an exceptional boxer, but when you're in Britain and you've got to choose one, either Khan or Brook, and that's how it was for me. Certainly my flag was certainly with Carl Brook. He was one of my favourite fighters, as Ted would tell you. I met me and Ricky met Ebony and Kel Terry's fight, and I showed Ted the pictures. Ted rang me. He was like, "I bet you was more buzzing about meeting Kel than you was Ebony." But yeah, who else is on this card? Who else was we? Adam Azim's on this card. He's been put on this card.
Short notice. It's a bit of a tune-up.
Short notice. Yeah, short notice. That tells me that either there's a lot of circulating that Boxer. Well, I say circulating. News is out that Boxer and Sky have are parting ways. And Ben Shalom is
just signed a new contract, haven't they? Not long back.
Yeah, they're done. They're done now. Ben Shalom says that he's going to announce where they'll be going next or whatever. Don't know who it's going to be, but it's not Sky. So
we'll fucking Dave, he's not careful with his promoting skills. He'll be on fucking Channel 5. But Ben Shalom, his skills are atrocious.
I'm boxing back to Channel 5.
Yeah, Wasserman has Channel 5. Wasserman has Channel 5 right now. So, but yeah, I don't know what Ben Shalom and Boxer's gonna do. I find he's got these fighters like Callum Simpson, Caroline Dubois, Adam Azim. He's got these names there in his stable who he's banking on. They're his flagship fighters. Those three fighters. He needs to find a platform to get these guys out there because, or else he will lose them. I know Caroline said she had an interview with Rico, and she said she had like 2 years. Was it two years or 2 fights? Can't quite remember what she said. Was it 2 fights she had left with Boxer? Yeah. So I don't know what Boxer's going to do, but Adam Azim, whether this fight is contracted to be, he had one more fight on Sky. There was a contract thingy that they had to get him out because it seems a bit weird that he's just been randomly thrown on a show in Barnsley as co-main event last minute against somebody who. Go on.
I think he's a shithouse. Is what I was trying to say. I can't. Sorry, mate. I couldn't hold that in. I know, like Ricky said, it's a tune-up and that, but he's just one of them names I'm getting tired of hearing of. It just seems he's not going anywhere in his career yet. He's got all the potential in the world.
Is he fighting somebody that beat Mauricio Lara?
Listen, the Dalton versus Adam Azim is literally a James DeGale versus George Groves. You're both ready to go to world titles. Your team, Adam Azim's team, seems to think they're ready for a world title. Dalton's team, they're ready for a world title. Dalton he's number one in the WBC. His next fight or his fight after next is definitely going to be for a world title as it stands. I don't know where Adam sits in the rankings or what sanctioning body he's going with at the moment. But that right now is the biggest fight for both those guys to have right now.
Yeah.
Do you know,
it's the biggest for him to have.
I think Dalton absolutely destroys him. Go on, sorry, Ricky.
Yeah. I do as well, CJ, just to back that up. But Adam Azim, the opponent that he's facing is the guy that knocked out Mauricio Lara, who went on eventually to knock out Lee Wood. I think he lost in the rematch. But so he has this guy. I think even though it's a short notice fight, he has got a name on his record. To be fair, pretty good name. So
Mauricio Lara and Lee Wood are both like 130 fighters. This is at 140. Like this guy doesn't. This guy won. There's a reason why we were only hearing his name of beating Mauricio Lara now and not before.
just to make a bit of interest on it.
You know what I mean? There's a reason why, and two, this fight is what 3 divisions above. I think is it 3 divisions? What are they? 126 or 130? What's 126 or 130? I can't remember which one they are, but
super light, isn't it?
This is at least 2 divisions above the weight class, and we haven't heard this guy. The only time it seems like this guy's had a name was when he beat Mauricio Lara, who ended up going on to do something with his career, and this guy is now an opponent for Adam Azim at late notice. This is a 2-round job, probably. I think Adam's a good fighter, don't get me wrong, but I'm like CJ, I'm a bit fed up of the whole fluff with it.
Yeah.
Shane McGuigan, his fighters always seem to do that, and it kind of annoys me. It's always his team that seem to have this thing. They did it with Josh Taylor as well, and that's what put me off him as well. Like that whole McGuigan setup. As good as a trainer Shane McGuigan is, and I rate him as a trainer, I just think their whole practice and how they are and how they move annoy the hell out of me.
They've just got to get fucking to it, haven't they? They've just got to get to it. Get fucking fighting, get active, start fighting whoever, and just let's see some fights and some action from Adam.
They're more mouth than anything out there. And like as says, great trainer, I do get that. That's all respect. But it's the hype he does, and then to be fair, behind closed doors, there's been that many fighters that have left him, and then had like court battles afterwards with payment and stuff. Like they're not a good team if you get on the wrong side of them. Carl Frampton, one of them. Chantel Cameron had a massive court case battle with him.
Yeah, Chantel Cameron was. I think she was the latest one. Chantel, but yeah, it's just a bit strange how they move the fight. Some of the fighters, the McGuigans. But hey, with the main event, for you, Ricky. I'll let you go first on this. What you expecting? You're going to be there live.
I'm expecting a Callum Simpson win. I think Zucco is a big hitter. He's got 18 knockouts on his record, like it says there. His record, though, although I don't want to downplay the fighters in Italy and everything else, I haven't seen anything of note. But again, Italians might be saying that for Simpson. I like Simpson. I think Simpson boxes really well. I wouldn't be shocked to expect maybe a good shot from Zucco that shocks Simpson, maybe mid rounds, late rounds, as if Simpson's sort of cruising and drifts off at boxing him. But I can see. Do I go for a stoppage? Ooh. I might go for a late stoppage, Simpson. Round 10, I'm going for a stoppage with Simpson. Fuck it. I'm going for it.
You know what? I think the only bit of trouble Simpson's going to be in this fight is early. I think Simpson, it'll be early. Zerko, I think, will come to fight early on, but I think once Simpson lands, I think the fighting him will slowly deteriorate, and I'm going with a Simpson stoppage. I think round 8 or 9. I think Simpson stops him.
I would just quickly, I'm going back on there. That Elliot Chavez, who was boxing Adam Azim, is the guy who got disqualified when he boxed Harlem Eubank. He kept hitting Eubank after bell.
Yeah. So this guy, he fought Harlem. What was that? That'd have been at 140, right?
Yeah, 2022. So
yeah, 140. So he has fought at 140 before, but he couldn't deal with. Well, it's a gauge, I guess, because if Adam struggles with this guy who Harlem Eubank ultimately got a win over, we'll see. But I can't imagine he struggles with him. I think Adam wins that handily, and he probably stops him. For that. What do you think on the Simpson fight, CJ?
Simpson stoppage halfway, 5-6. Zuko Zercho come out strong. He's got some stoppages on his record, quite a few of recent. I do think that's the only thing they can go for. When I have looked at I think I saw a sparring video of him not long since. Like he's didn't look fantastic. Whereas Simpson's really coming into that sort of clean and crisp stage. He's looking very well all rounded. So yeah, stoppage at about round 5 or 6.
Yeah, all three of us going for stoppages. But yeah, an hour's already gone. Just before we head off, just want to touch on. We've got Pacquiao is back in business. I think 46 years old. Manny Pacquiao is.
Was he in your year at school?
You cheeky.
Eric were held back a couple of years as well, Siege.
Listen, you two are bald, I'm not.
My turkey.
That's just because the testosterone up to fuck.
The turkey operation hasn't kicked in yet.
It's not worked.
It's not worked.
But Pacquiao's back, 46 years old, 4 years out of the professional ring, off of his last performance where he lost to Ugas, I want to say. Yep. Yeah. He lost to Dennis Ugas in a wide decision. He's getting a world title shot against Mario Barrios.
It's fucking crackers, that, isn't it?
Before we head off, we'll go another couple of minutes. What do you guys think of this one?
Go on, Rick.
I think somebody like Pacquiao, for coming back, I think it's one of those moments where I believe he's got grandfather rights. He's a legend of the sport. He's a legend of the sport. I think it's one of those that he did everything. If he wants to come back and fucking ask for a title shot, it's up to them to give it him, and that's what they've decided to do. It was like, I don't want to put like a thing about when John Cena announced his Elimination Chamber. It's a bit like that, I think. but it feels like that. Like, it feels a bit. It's one of those where we've had Pacquiao, we've had his prime, we've seen what he dazzled us up through the noughties and the early tens, and that were enough. I don't want to see him come back in another lackluster performance and get beat by somebody that would never have been able to lace his boots years ago. I hope he does come back and he does it, but if he gets a spanking, it's just another one of those where it's just an old guy that couldn't let go in the sport, and is getting dusted for no reason, like Roy Jones were doing, albeit he might have been doing it for paydays. I mean, we have had the success. Was it? But Hopkins that did it at 50.
Yeah, Hopkins came back, but then ultimately ended up
Foreman
punched out of the ring.
Yeah, and then Foreman did it as well, didn't he?
Foreman did it at 46.
So it's happened, and sometimes these fighters can't let go. They live their life in the lights and struggle with it. We saw Hatton mentally struggle. So yeah, I hope he does it, and I hope he doesn't get hurt. But I'm not expecting much from it at all. And I don't know where it goes if he does win.
What's Eric laughing at?
My son, he just got up. I'm laughing because he knows it's the end of the episode. He just turns up at this time every time. Look, here he is.
I've got a steak cooking, lads. I can't fucking wait.
Oh, they can't see you, mate.
Hiya, buddy. You all right, mate?
Is he hiya? Is he hiya? Come on, down you. Let me finish up here.
Someone's knocking on my door.
Nah,
mistake.
Thinking about mistake.
The only issue I've got with the Pacquiao thing is if Pacquiao wins, what happens? Like, it does nothing for boxing. It literally does nothing for boxing. If Pacquiao wins, actually, saying that, I heard Pacquiao's after Tank Davis if he wins. That's what I heard.
Fucking dangerous.
You like to roll that, wouldn't you?
That's what I've heard. That tells me that Pacquiao's in this for money. He's here for money and money only.
Which is a worry.
He's trying to take over the country, isn't he? No wonder. We'll be going for political power in Philippines, won't he?
It turns out he's actually a little fucking dictator.
Yeah. Right, that's me done. We're done. CJ's got a... What's that?
Small terrier.
That's the SP8 boxing idol.
I think that's it for this week, guys. Thank you everyone for joining. We've got 42 people live at the moment joining. For plus on Twitter, and the 6 people we've got on YouTube. Thank you for joining. Libster, thank you for commenting and getting involved. Boxing Bros UK, you too. Mandy, as usual, every week here. And Jack, thank you very much for commenting and getting involved with the show. We will be back on Tuesday doing a review for the Callum Simpson show. Hopefully Ricky has some footage for us, some interviews, some breaking news. But that's it from me. I'm out. You guys.
See you later, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in as usual. Sorry I was late. Professionally late, may I add. Yeah, always a good show. Thank you for joining in and keep us coming because I want to retire soon. So please keep watching.
And all I'll add on is like, share, and subscribe if you like what you see. And that's it. Enjoy it.
And the Boxing League. Prediction League. Get your predictions in by tomorrow. What time tomorrow, Ricky?
By Saturday.
Ricky? By Saturday.
Saturday 3 p.m.
Saturday 3 p.m. is your final call. Right.
Hell yeah, we gon' live it up. And drive the haters crazy, we gon' burn the clutch. And ball outrageous, we gon' double up. It's all for the fam, cause all we got is us. Real nigga can't step on them. Protect at all costs, put a vest on them.